So this unruly mass behind me is Pandanus tectorius, and with that it's day 128 of my attempt to plant a tree every single day, and let's get on with it. As you might guess from that little introduction, we are going with a Pandanus today. The Pandanus are these screw palms. They're not remotely palms at all. They are wonderful sort of agave-like plants which form these fantastic buttressing roots. Some of them get really massive, and this should be one of those. This should be Pandanus utilis, whereas the one you saw at the beginning is Pandanus tectorius. In this climate, Pandanus tectorius doesn't usually become a tree. Pandanus utilis usually does. It is quite a thirsty plant, although they look very sort of like an agave or a cordyline. They are very much a sort of river's edge plant in most of their natural habitats. So in Zambia, for example, we have a very abundant one along some of the less disturbed rivers, and so they do like quite a lot of water. They do not want to be in full sun if they're not getting a lot of water. They do like sunlight, so one of the things with river's edges, on big rivers you do have an opening to sunlight, but if they are drying out, that will be much worse. So we're putting this sort of thicket edge, which is similar enough to their natural habitat. It's also quite a low thicket, so it shouldn't take too long for this to start pushing up through and forming part of the canopy along with mangoes and guavas here, which should form a nice barrier between them, but also it's just a nice visually pleasing plant. And the fruit of this one, unlike the Pandanus tectorius, on which I'm not sure if it is, the fruit of this is edible, but I will need male and female because the male and female are separate plants. So I will have to get cuttings from hopefully genetically unrelated plants that are not just clones of the same line. It can happen that you have an entire country's worth of one species is just clones of the same line, and then you will only have males or only have females, but hopefully we'll be able to get around that. Companion planting wise, because this becomes very dense, most of the aloes wouldn't really do well here. This hopefully will start growing quite quickly once it settles in, and so I'm putting the only aloe that will really cope with that, which is the Aloidendron ciliata, I think. It's one of the climbing aloes, which is a very thin stemmed one, which is pre-rooted because this is again going wet. It's getting a little bowl form like I did with the banana the other day, so when I water it I can put much more than 1 or 2 litres in. It can soak in and keep the roots nice and moist and form a nice little reservoir under the ground. I'm also going to be putting in one of those shade-tolerant calincos, which is the Calico prolifera. So that should be everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed it, thank you for watching anyway. Please tune in again tomorrow when I will be planting something else, and probably not tomorrow, but probably soon when the review will be going up, if you want to watch that.